Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Solstice Summit Insights and Inspiration for 2026. My name is Jill M. Jackson, and I am beyond excited to welcome expert speaker Julia Griffin to the Solstice Summit. Julia is an intuitive who experienced awakening with wolves, which encompasses hearing and seeing the energy of people, animals, and plants. The wolves told her about the intuitive powers of mankind and our potential to create meaningful change in our lives and the world. Her gifts include seeing the path of the soul, clearing blocks and limitations, and finding a way to proceed more peacefully through life. She's known for her ability to create rapid change by shifting energy fields. Unlike the solutions offered in traditional therapy, analysis, and self help books, Julia's methods create rapid, positive changes, even sometimes in a single session. Her exercises and meditations facilitate your progress by making practical changes in the physical world so that your life reflects your inner spiritual being, your true self. Welcome to the solstice, Julia.
I am so thrilled to be here. I'll go into it a little more in a minute, but the winter solstice has been one of the most powerful times for me. It's actually when all my gifts awakened. So I'm really thrilled to get to talk about that.
Oh, I am as well. So there's obviously no coincidence that you're part of this summit, then a very integral part of the summit, Julian. We're just so honored to have you part of it. For those guests of the summit who may just be getting to know about you and your work, can you just talk a few minutes about your
Sure.
background? Talk about the
Yeah.
wolves and how all this came together.
I was always intuitive, but I certainly wasn't always accurate. If it was big, I knew it would happen. Whatever it was, I would know if we were like lost or we should go in a different direction. But I wasn't always accurate because my emotions affected it. And so that was one thing I always wanted, and I always spent time with animals. I grew up on a farm and we probably had 90 animals at any point. So I was always like, why can't people be more like animals? Because they're so sensitive and they know when you need help. And I thought, I can feel how they feel, but I would love to be able to hear animals talk. So I gave up on that. So one night, everyone was gone, my children and my ex-husband, and I was writing. And I could have sworn I heard a wolf howl, but it wasn't like a normal howl. It's like it just was like a kundalini rush. And I was really afraid. So I kind of hid till they came home. And then that night, everyone went to sleep. And this white wolf came and howled underneath my window. And again and again and again, that came. So I talked about it a little bit, but I just kind of pushed it down. And then on the full moon, 2 or 3 weeks later, my ex-husband asked me if I would like to go meet some real wolves. And there were two wolves, which were not domesticated, and they were in a pen. And after that dream, I was really hesitant about being around a wolf, but I decided to go. I mean, the second I saw them, I had to be in the pen with them. And so I go right in. The male wolf jumps on me, put his paws here. And I looked at him and I said, if you want me to stay with you, you have to be good. And so he just goes flat, rolls on his back, and puts his paws up, which that's submission.
Yes.
And the female in there was playing with me. So I go home and they start telling me things like where an herb grows on the mountain that's just right across the way. And so I could verify all the things that they told me. I mean, there was nothing that they said that wasn't true. So this keeps going on and on. And then finally, the guy who had him said he had found a home. Did I want to come say goodbye to them? Because I'd been by several times to see them. And I said, yes. But they were already loaded up in an SUV when I got there. The lady who was taking them said, why are you here? And I said, because I love him. I love them. And it makes me sad that I won't see them again. And she said, well, I breed hybrid wolves. I have like 10. Why don't you come over? So we followed her home. Well, then I can hear all of those wolves talking just the way that I'm talking. So a little ways into this, I understood that the wolves knew everything that I wanted. like greater intuitive knowledge. I wanted a big herb garden and all these other various things. So I'm sitting there and one comes by the window and she says to me, that was Juna. She said, "You can only find the answers in your heart." So she said, think about your heart and what you want to create. And all those things came to be. So for about 10 years, whether they were with me or somewhere else, and I lived with three wolves over time, everything they ever told me was true.
Wow.
And I
That's
mean, that's enough to make you believe. And so eventually I got to the point that they showed me that everything was energy, that it can be high or low on a scale, it can be cold, it can be warm, but you've got to read energy to understand what's going on in life. And reading that energy is part of our spiritual and our physical manifestation. And that's where we've got to go, is into that.
yes. Now, Julia, along this path and the journey that you were on, were there other animals that you were able to communicate with as well, or was it solely the
Yeah, the
wolves?
first time I heard was my dog, Josie, who was a mongrel, but a wonderful dog. And I thought, I wonder what her voice sounds like. And she said to me, pretty much the way you would imagine it.
That's awesome.
And then just they all talk to me. I mean, the deer talk to me every morning, the cardinals do. Everything is speaking in nature. It's just that we've kind of gotten cut off of it from it because people don't believe in it. But the most wonderful thing they've told me, and I will share this later on in our talk, is even in all this chaos that we're going through, they say that there is great energy building within our hearts and within the earth. And the next thing to do is to stay connected to that, and things will change rapidly in a positive direction.
And I agree, and we will circle back around and talk about that later because it is so important. Animals, nature, it's pivotal in what's coming in 2026. So, yes. And I love how connected you are with animals. And I know that that's why we're so in resonance as well, because I am so connected to the animal kingdom. Sometimes I connect easier with animals than I do with some humans.
I know I say that sometimes. I do an animal reading for less because animals aren't as complicated.
Yeah. Exactly. And they're truthful with us, right? They
They're
tell us.
completely truthful. It's not like you're going, well, I know she's not telling me the truth. Should I wait till our next session and hit at it? Or should I come out and say it? Then I'm over here muscle testing.
Exactly. And they're just very authentic and forgiving.
The wolf pushed me into my profession.
Yes.
I was just working and I was a single mom then. And I saw Spirit of Mott, which was drawn below Melchizedek's magazine. I had printed one article to date. And that's what they wanted to see was one article. And then they hired me as a writer. So soon I was writing 4 or 5 articles a month. And then people wanted readings, and I did that on the weekend. And I can remember adding it up and thinking, I'm making so much more money doing this, and I love doing this. So I switched.
Yes. And spirit has a way to kind of gently or sometimes not so gently push us under our path, right?
Right.
And so your segue not only was the wolves, but then the writing of the articles as
Hmm.
well, which opened that door.
Right. The combination of the two, because it gave me an audience for my work.
Yes, yes, that's beautiful, Julia. Now, this is a great time to kind of segue into what advice you would give other people who are tuning into this summit who are also wanting to tune into and strengthen their own connection, whether it's through animals, people, their own intuition. What advice would you
I'm
give?
going to start with the word awakening because I think that means learning about your inner self or your true presence. And it's a process. Even for me, when I've had these few times where I just bounced up into a higher level, every day I have to work with it. It's like if things start going wrong, I'm like, oh, I'm not connected to my inner self. I know that's why that happened. So then I'm like, please, universe, reconnect me to my inner self. The other thing I do, and we can do it right now, is just think about your heart chakra as a circle on your chest. And then what I like to do is see like a huge ray of pink light, like sunlight, hitting right here in this circle. As I do this, I put my mind on universal unconditional love because we forget that no matter how well we're doing or no matter how messed up we are, The universe always loves us the same because it sees our inner self. And when you're sending love to yourself and you're feeling the love in the universe, that's going to change your vibration, just doing it now. And if you're not familiar with this, if you want to put your hand over in your heart chakra, they know now that that raises serotonin and endorphins in your body.
So science has proven that, correct?
Mhm.
Just that
Right.
connection.
And you just breathe in and out that pink light. You want to breathe it in so much so that helps your shoulders go down and relaxes your back, like you're filling up with it. But then I breathe it out into my life or into my desire.
Oh, that's beautiful, Julia. Yeah, and just doing that with you right now in these couple of minutes, you feel the energy shift.
I know it changes everything, but sometimes if I'm having a really bad day, I'll admit I sit there and do it for 10 or 15 minutes. And then it's
So,
all different. The phone call I was waiting for comes through.
mhm.
The thing that there was a misunderstanding about, someone sends me a really super nice email, it's gone.
Wow,
Because all these things that bother us can't happen at a higher vibration.
absolutely. And it seems so simple on one hand, and truly it is if we can just remember
To do it.
to practice and do it.
Well, those are the two hard parts, I think, of developing a connection with your inner self. The first one is that we oscillate. So it's like sometimes after I teach class, I just feel like I'm on waves of the flow and everything is so wonderful. And then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, oh, I'm back down. Oh, no. So you have to find things that get you back up. Everybody oscillates. Most people don't teach it. But the more deeply you go into your spiritual work, the more you're going to go up and the more you're going to go down. In time, you learn that you're responsible for getting back up.
I love that, the responsibility of self.
Mhm.
And that is such an important teaching that you're talking about, Julia, because you're right. People think that the spiritual awakening, once you awaken, you just stay in high vibrational energy all the time. And that's the opposite, correct?
Right. It would be great if you did, but the universe says, let's look at where you're stuck in duality now.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. Wouldn't you agree, Julia, that it's a journey that throughout time we have periods where sometimes it feels like even a roller coaster with the up and down?
Definitely. And it takes all you have. But it's not bad because it really makes you commit to your meditation practice and your spiritual practice. And I notice a change from, why is this happening to me? I didn't do anything wrong, to there's some part of me that I can change.
Yes, and realign and recenter.
Mhm. When
Why,
you do that, it's all starts to shift. And that's why it's helpful to have a teacher, is because they can often shift it for you.
absolutely. I would not be where I am today without my own mentors. And we can read books and we can do so much, but then having someone there to help hold space, help remind us, help teach us about energy and frequency is so vital.
And just
I,
hearing different techniques is helpful. And I've
yes,
learned that in teaching classes, to teach everything I teach 3 or 4 different ways so everyone can find some way to get there.
yes, yes.
But awakening is an evolution.
And sometimes I say it's not for the faint of heart, but it's
It's not, I was gonna say, except for being a mother, I think it's the hardest thing that I've done.
yes, absolutely. But on the flip side of that, like
The
you
most
mentioned,
rewarding.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Because when you open up to it, or let's just say we breathe through our heart for 5 minutes or something, when you get into the flow, the universe starts responding to you like this soft, wonderful cloud that's around you.
And it's just a flow.
It's
It,
just a flow, it carries you. It's
yes,
worth the struggle to get to the flow.
I agree. And when we forget and we get into the lower vibration and things are seeming like they're chaotic or
And clunky.
clunky and things are going wrong. And, if we can just remind ourselves to, and I love the exercise that you led us on, is to just touch the heart chakra, breathe in the pink light, and everything can shift in such a powerful way. So
I
thank
mean,
you
if
for
you
that.
just wanna take, a few minutes and do that 4 or 5 times a day, it helps. The other thing I say is, universe, help me connect to my inner self.
Okay. Help me connect. Now, for the inner self, do you feel that that's the higher self, the inner
Mhm.
self, the same?
Yeah, because intuition, we feel emotionally, we feel physically, and we feel spiritually. And the heart is in the center of the chakra system. So it's like a on off switch.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you, Julian. Those were great pointers, and we can all use those in our daily lives to help us connect to our higher self. Now, we are all anxiously looking into the energy for 2026. And with everything that's been going on in our country and the world, so many of us are wanting to kind of know what to expect. And so, what can you share with our guest on what you've
Well, the
channeled?
division with duality, you know how everyone is left or right or everything is good or bad, that
Yeah.
continues. And we have a
Yeah.
whole nother year of that at least. But the
Okay.
good news is that underneath it, and it's hidden unless you have a higher light level, that there is this collective of light that's building, and it's building in the earth. And I can hear like dolphins and whales and wolves when they do their sonic vibration. I can hear what it breaks down into. And I can feel that all these things are happening underneath the earth and that things are happening on the outside of the earth. I mean, this week it went down to 24 one night, it snowed. And then the next day, the azaleas and the flowers were still blooming. We know that's not normal.
Right. Right.
I mean, they should have all have turned brown, but no, they're still blooming. So that's one of the ways that it is changing. And a lot of species of animals that they thought were extinct are coming back. So this big thing is building in nature. And the best thing any of us can do is work on our light level, meditate a little more. Even 5 minutes of meditation can make a huge change, and try to change our beliefs into something more positive. Now, feeling that duality, what I do is pull back and go back to my inner self. I say, I'm creating my world. I want to be in a world that I'm creating. No one explained why it's so important to go to a higher light level. Everything in physical form is actually composed of light particles that are spinning so slowly that they feel dense, but they're all light. So when you raise your light level, your body changes, whatever room you're in changes, how people are reacting to you changes. And when enough of us can create that space around us, everything will change in our world.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love how you explained that, Julia. And it makes so much sense. And don't you feel that this is why sometimes it takes our physical bodies a little time to adjust to the
Right.
light coming in?
Oh, yeah. I have times that I sleep or I feel like I have the flu. And then I have times that I'm like, I don't need to sleep. I feel great. And I go up
Yes.
and down with it.
Yes. And that's the key to learn to listen to our inner selves,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I want to ask your feeling on a couple of things. So, for those people who are part of the summit and feel like they are still feeling the triggers of the division, because as you said, and I agree with you, I've seen that as well, it continues through 2026. What would be your main recommendation if someone feels themselves getting triggered by the chaos and the division?
Well, of course, I do sometimes. If I'm silly enough to read the news, I don't watch it, but sometimes I read it. And I tell myself, I'm making a choice to move into this lower vibration. No
Mhm,
matter what I think about the outer world, think about how beautiful the trees are, the
mhm.
animals, flowers. Think how happy I am when I come home and see my dog and cat. Think of that joy. So, one thing we can do is go back and remember some of the best moments in our life because we co created them. And usually our inner self is engaged when that happens. So you can remind yourself that way. The main thing is, why am I going to focus on something that's going to make me feel terrible? I don't think I'm going to do it.
I love that. It's a choice. We have free will in every
And with,
moment.
with my closest friends, we've all decided to be apolitical. We're not discussing it. It doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have valid points or thoughts. It's just we care about each other. So why would we waste our time on that?
Yes, yes. And would you agree, Julia, that we can even make more? massive change by holding our own light frequency, as you were
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
and I did a whole lesson on that this week. I was like, I've decided the best thing for us to all do is to pull all the way in, feel our love and universal love, and stay out of the rest of it.
Yes. Yes, because as I've talked about, like you said, I don't turn on the news either, but if you see something coming across your feed or if you make the conscious choice, if we had no capacity to even read that in our world that we have co-created, we are already in fifth dimensional new earth frequency. Would you agree?
Definitely. Or the whales wouldn't be showing me how they're changing the underwater landscape.
Oh, I have chills when you say that. It's beautiful. Yeah, can we circle back around and talk about that? Because you kind of started with that at the beginning
Well, this last
interview.
week, yeah, I dreamed I had about a whale. Of course, it was huge. And you know how you'll have dreams at night where you can breathe underwater? So it was one
Yes.
of those dreams. And the whale was making sounds. And when the whale did, there was all this underground rock, and I could feel the waves move through it. And the whale gave me this really complicated explanation of how all the whales were changing the world and the mountains and the rocks because their vibrations are so incredible. And yeah, and then when I woke up, I couldn't remember exactly what they said. And I did actually read the news, and the wolves immediately said to me, "Do you think the wolves would be coming back? Do you think whales would be talking to you if something good wasn't coming?"
Wow. Wow, that really makes me emotional, Julia. I love the innocence and the profound wisdom at the same time of the animal kingdom.
I mean, they are working so hard on changing everything. I
Yes,
think they're too smart to do it if they didn't think it would make a big difference.
absolutely. Absolutely. And would you also agree that, I mean, you're able to hear what they're doing, but even for those who may not be able to perceive that now, would you agree that being in that energy is still able to shift?
Yes. Yeah. You just have
Yeah.
to want to be connected to your inner self. That's as much as you have to do and work on it.
Yes.
It doesn't
Yes.
matter whether you can hear or feel any of it. I also have a feeling that when the earth comes back, it will be very fast.
Can you talk about that a couple of minutes?
Sure, because I was like, where I live, it was so beautiful when I first moved here, and now they're cutting down big trees and widening the road. And I was like, oh my gosh, and how is all this going to come back, wolves? And they were like, why do you think that a big tree can't grow back in a few months?
Mm.
It
Yes.
doesn't have to take 10 years for a tree to grow really big. And
Yes.
I had a client who had stage 3 cancer, and we got rid of it in 4 months, and they were like, "You can believe in that. Why can't you believe in trees?"
I love that. Yes, because in the higher dimensions, time is not the same as it is in the lower dimensions.
Right, and as we go into that, I think we'll be seeing miracles constantly, so much so that we don't think they're miracles. We just think "Oh, wow, we've gotten so good at creating."
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that, Julia.
Well, that's not just from me. I have my moments. That's from all the animals in the earth.
Yes. Yes. The birds had also told me that even through their song, their bird song, that they're healing us. We get so wrapped up and get caught on the loops of our own 3D reality that we don't even pay attention. And when I take the time to just go sit outside and do nothing but listen to the birds, it's just amazing.
I know, because when you get to a deeper level, you start to understand that all the tones and all the beautiful things in nature are for us.
Yes. The howls of the wolves are
Mhm.
not only communicating with each other, but with humans as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's for us.
Yes.
They don't know what they think. They're just doing it for us and the planet.
Now, do you also help people connect with animals? Is that part of what you teach, or
Well,
does
I
that just
I
kind of
do
happen?
animal readings, but the interesting thing is I would say about 80% of the people I interview on my radio show or that I end up talking with, they all dream of a wolf the night before. Mhm. So I would say
Yes.
yes.
Yes, absolutely. You're doing it through the ethers, right?
Right.
Through the
I
higher
mean, I'm not
dimensions.
making any effort. The wolves just show up. Like, yeah,
Yes,
she's the reason that we're the reason that she can do anything. Well, yeah, they are.
absolutely. Yes. I
I
love
mean,
that.
all the planet is the reason that any of us can do anything.
Yes.
And for people who doubt it, just start with drinking more water, having a slightly healthier body, and you'll be amazed at how many more vibrations and intuitions you pick up on.
Yes. To learn to honor our vessels.
Mhm. And if you
Absolutely.
make a mistake, it's okay. You just start over. It's not like I'm saying go on a strict diet.
Right. Yes. To learn grace with ourselves, right?
Mhm. Because I still have these time periods when I eat ice cream, and I'm just like, here's the good news: you don't eat as much as you used to, and you stop eating it sooner. Okay, that's good enough for me.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Julia, could you talk a few minutes about your special gift that you are offering to all the retreat
Yeah,
participants?
it's a video about 30 minutes on manifestation, and I'm sharing a lot of the stuff that the wolves taught me. So we have sharp visualizations, we have heart work, finding your inner knowing that what you want to manifest is the right thing and
Oh,
how to do it. Because we all have many, many desires, and it doesn't mean we're always aligned with them. And
that's
while the
wonderful.
wolves created about a zillion things for me and with me and helped me so much, my ex-husband, who I obviously divorced, but I kept asking them, "Can't we fall madly in love?" And they would laugh. Like, right, good luck, girl.
So they have a sense of humor as
They have a
well.
good sense of humor as well. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes the animals are the funniest readings, right? The things they
Hmm.
tell us are so hysterical.
I
Mm.
know. That was one of my first ones. This couple had wolves, and they said something about their wolves just weren't right, but they took such wonderful care of them. And the wolf immediately showed me that they fed them and then they went in and drank wine and watched television. They didn't take them for walks like they were
Oh,
telling us that they did. They
that's
ignored them.
yeah.
And so I just said, well, they want more attention. They said, we give them lots of attention. So I said, well, what about when you drink wine in the evenings? And they were like, okay, so what should we do for our wolves?
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome, Julia.
They're sharp like that.
Yes, yes, they are. And that's a wonderful gift. Thank you for offering that. And for those who would love to connect with you, what's the best way for people to connect?
Oh, onetrueself.com, onetrueself.com. And you can get a contact form and get in touch with me and sign up for my newsletter. I should add with the manifestation tape, if you will really work on it, there's some things about getting out of where you're stuck mentally, which I think is really important, and how to kind of work with it day by day. Because I think for all of us, let's say it's a manifestation that takes me a year, around 6 or 7 months, I'm gonna say, "Hey, nothing's happening." And so it helps
Yes,
you to work through that because it's just like right now, it looks like everything is falling apart, but a lot is actually happening that's good.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And that's wonderful. What would be your final words of inspiration that you could offer? Is there anything you are channeling that people
Yeah, I
need to
was gonna
hear?
say on the winter solstice, and I actually saw this because I went to a sacred place and pretty much meditated all night with other people. The energy of the planet moves very deeply into the earth. And when I was there that time, someone was talking about an Indian princess that had been buried, and they said, I think it's 4 miles over there. I was like, it's not far from where we are. And she has on this jewelry and that jewelry. I could actually see it. So
Yes,
the power is in the earth. And it's like it's incubating, it's gathering, it's gestating. So what I would say is ask the earth to help you in gathering your own physical energy and how to apply it in your life. The other part of that is ask the universe to help you awaken your spiritual gifts. Now, everyone wants their gifts, but how often do you say, universe, awaken my gifts and make them clear? And we need
yes,
everybody's gifts,
yes, yes,
and
we do.
everyone has them. I mean, I know working with a lot of women, they don't understand that it's harmonious at home or their family is happy because they're using a lot of magical energy to create that.
That's beautiful. Will you talk a minute or two about sacred ceremony? And do you feel like you can have ceremony with just yourself and with others? as well?
Absolutely. I usually have mine alone, and I like around the time of sunset. There used to be dusk, but there's not now because it's winter. But I look at the stars and I ask to see the energy that's accumulating in the earth. And I tell the trees and the earth that I want to be part of that. And if you keep focusing on it, you'll actually feel some of that move into you. And so I sit there and I go, it's going into my cells, it's going into every particle of my body, it's going into the spaces between the particles because we're 70% empty space. And then I'll say, universe, and I'll look at the stars. I'll say, universe, from the stars, awaken my star gifts. Let me use my intuition in the very best way for me, the people I love, in the world. And you can tell when it happens because all the sounds change.
Wow. Wow.
Or sometimes the stars will blink.
Oh, I love it when nature responds back to us.
Yeah, so that's how I would say to do it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's super cold when it happens, but that's why we have a lot of clothes and coats and hats.
Exactly. Connecting with the earth. Well, this has just been amazing, Julia, and it's such an honor that you're part of the summit for the solstice. And I love how connected you are personally to the winter solstice. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with all
Uh,
of us.
Thank you for having me and letting me talk about it and letting me be with you for this half hour. I appreciate it all my heart.
Oh, yes. I mean, it ripples out, right? It ripples out to the collective when we join
And
together.
all of you, if you can feel this while you're listening, know that you're rippling it out.
Yes. That's what I say. Just tuning in to spiritual radio shows, spiritual podcast summits such as this, listening to us discuss ripples that energy to those who are participating.
Yeah, because the first step is feeling it.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes,
always say in classes. Don't worry about anything complex or esoteric that I'm presenting. Just go for the feeling.
absolutely. In closing, will you let everybody know again the name of your radio show and how they can tune in there as well, Julia?
Yeah, it's the power of inspiration and awakening. And I'm also on Facebook if you want to follow me as Julia Boyd Griffin. And I put that up and it's on Transformation Talk Radio.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Julia. Many
Thank you.
blessings.
Namaste.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in to this amazing interview. And be sure to sign up for Julia's newsletter and to go through her wonderful free gift for everyone. Until next time, namaste.